Okay, these are some quick afterthoughts on the fights tonight. Pretty good card. A lot of weird decisions. First off, we'll go with the main event: BJ Penn versus Jon Fitch. Um, I think that I think that was a draw. I gave the first two rounds to BJ. Gave the last round to Fitch. I scored the last round 10-8 because he was pretty much controlling him the whole round. He spent most of the round on top, so I give that third round fully to Jon Fitch. The other two, I want to say I give those to BJ Penn. A lot of people thought that Fitch stole the second round. I don't really believe in stealing rounds. I mean, if it's a 5 round and BJ controls 4 minutes out of the 5 minutes, I think that round should go to BJ Penn. So anyway, like I said, I think it was close, so I'm okay with the draw. Now let's talk about my other picks. Bisping versus Rivera, no surprise. A little bit of a cheap shot with the knee to the head. To me, that looked intentional. I used to be a fan of Michael Bisping. I don't know what to think about him. I kind of lost respect for him after the Matt Hamill fight, where he thought he won, even though clearly Matt Hamill just basically threw him around like a sack of potatoes for 3 rounds. He actually thought he won a decision. I was just like, okay, this guy, I don't know, I don't know. It's lost a little bit of my respect. So I don't know if Jorge Rivera just gave up. It looked like he gave up. He just wasn't punching back, or he looked really tired, he looked gassed. So maybe it was a cardio issue. I don't know. Maybe he was still had spider webs in his head from the knee. The knee didn't look that bad. I mean, it didn't look like it was flush from a couple of different angles that they showed it to. I was like, okay, that doesn't look like a hard knee. Maybe he just doesn't want to fight. So, I mean, it looked like he was winning the stand up for a little bit, the first couple minutes of the first round. So, I got that one right. Okay, Seaver versus Sideropoulos went totally a different way. Like I said, Seaver's a better stand up, and he used that, and he had an excellent takedown defense to defeat Sideropoulos. But, I mean, it was a good fight. It was just, Seaver just was the better man tonight. So I think Seaver deserves a title shot. I mean, the guy's pretty awesome. Has some really awkward, you know, he's got some really awkward offense. I would say he uses kicks probably more than he uses punches, but they land, and he just threw a whole bunch. So hats off to the guy. I'm slowly becoming a fan of that guy. Okay, and then what other fight was? Okay, what other main fight was there? Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much basically it. You know, those fights were good. Spencer Fisher versus Pearson went just like I thought it would go. Pearson's stronger, bigger, stronger guy. Spencer Fisher came out, he came out banging. He was throwing his hands, he was letting them go. He couldn't really land anything flush, so I mean, he didn't get it like a TKO or anything. But that was a pretty good fight. Like I said, it went just like I thought it would go. Pearson, winner by decision. And the Mark Hunt fight was actually pretty good too. I forgot the name of the guy he was fighting. I think it's one of the guys that trains with Brock Lesnar, but pretty good fight. It's good to see that guy get his first win in the UFC. I like Mark Hunt. I'm a fan of old Pride days. Not a big fan of the ring. I love the Octagon, but I was a fan of Pride. I thought they put on some pretty good fights. So all in all, tonight was a pretty good fight card. I'd like to see, before I forget, oh yes, I have to go back to one of the main fights, Aerosol versus what's this guy's name? Well, the Aerosol fight versus the fireman. I can't think of his name right now. It's really late. But anyway, yeah. Oh, Chris Lido. Yes, Chris Lido. I'm sorry. It's late. I'm tired. Chris Lido. Wow. I mean, Eversol. Much respect for the guy. Came out with looking like a dork with a big old giant arrow carved out of the hair on his chest. It was kind of awesome, but it was kind of dorky all at the same time. And he just comes out with the weird like capoeira style kick. I was like, wow, what is this guy doing? And the weird, like he was going for takedowns and he was doing weird things with his hands. I think it like threw off Chris Lido, but man, Chris Lido was gunning. So I give him that. He was gunning. But man, that Eversol almost finished him with that knee. I was surprised that Lytle even came back from that. I mean, it looked like he was just gone for a while. He just looked gone. But man, I'm very impressed with Eversol. And it was weird because I guess they matched up pretty close. I've never heard of that guy before, but 47 wins, like 17 losses or something like that. Almost the exact same record as Lytle. The guy's pretty legit. I wonder why it took Dana White and the Fertitta brothers so long to pick that guy up. It's actually pretty good. So I'm glad. The 170 is starting to look pretty good. I was gonna say, man, what happens next? St. Pierre's pretty much cleaned out every 170, that whole division. But we'll see what happens with Shields. But I'm pretty much sure that it's gonna go like it's always gone. It's gonna be Pierre by decision. He hasn't finished. He hasn't finished someone in quite a long time. So, but anyway. BJ Penn, it sucks that it went to a draw, but I'm happy that he didn't get a loss. I don't want to see that guy quit. I think he's got a lot of fight in him. I think he just needs to take time off a little bit instead of going back and fighting. Fight after fight after fight. This guy's been in a lot of fights in the last year, man. It seems like he fights like every 2 months or something crazy. I know that's not it, but it just seems like that. But anyway, all in all, I'm very impressed with the fights. I can't wait for Johnny Bones Jones versus Shogun. I have the verdict's out on that one. I don't know. Johnny Bones, up and comer. Shogun's the Shogun. So we'll see what happens. I'll let you know what my picks are on that UFC 128. But anyway, thanks for listening and have a good night. Peace out.